Hey, book besties. Welcome to More Than a Book Club podcast. I'm your host, Leyna.
And I'm your other host, LJ.
And today we are doing one of my favorite episodes of the quarter. It is books that we've read, hits and misses of, I guess, third quarter, July, August, and September.
Which flew by.
I was just talking to someone the other day. I'm like, I can't believe next week is October. Like, how did that happen?
I don't know. I really don't know.
It's crazy.
Okay. Anyway. All right. Sorry. Back to quarter end favorites and misses. And what else do we do?
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I'm like, I don't know. You put me on the spot every time.
I know
every
I do.
time, and then I forget. I'm like, what do we do? It's a surprise for me just as much as it is for the audience. But we're going to talk about books that are coming out in the next quarter. So what can we look forward to? And there's some good books coming out. I'm excited for some anyway. So
I'm excited to hear what you found because I feel like I struggle to find the stuff. So when we talk about that, you will see there is a genre that is basically all of my books because it was ones that were easier to find because I knew authors to search for. So anyway, they'll come as no surprise.
All right. I'm excited to hear what you have put down because I'm sure that it's going to be different than what I have. So we'll see.
I'm sure we might have some overlaps. We'll see. But anyway, what have you been up to literary lately?
Okay. So I felt like I had not finished a book in forever. I felt like I did the thing that you do was I started like 5 books. I was like, how does LJ do this? Because I just hadn't finished a book and it was starting to really irritate me. I'm like, I need to do this. Part of it was that I started reading The Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown. And that book is just so long. I think it was like 23 listening hours. It was really big.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it was not one of my favorite Dan Brown books. And it's been a long time since I've read one of his books.
Yeah.
And I think I expected more, I don't know, more science, more. This one, it didn't feel like his other books as much.
That's disappointing.
So, it was long. I felt like it could have been shorter. I felt like a lot of it could have been compressed, but it was a fun read, but I was just ready for it to be over by the end.
That's fair.
So,
yeah, you're not selling it for me because that's the book club book for September, right?
Yes,
and I did
it
it.
is.
I haven't read it. And after hearing that from you and from Emily, I'm like, well, I don't think I'm going to read it.
One of the main characters had epilepsy. Like that was a big part of this. And I think we talked about it last episode was that they talk about the euphoria you feel after epilepsy. And it just kept taking me out because I'm like, that's not how I feel. I Googled it because I'm like, do other people actually feel this? And it said, the AI Google thing was like, this is a rare occurrence that people feel this. So he made it sound, in my opinion, that like this is a thing that people experience and this is normal. And it's like, no, it's not. So, but
that's frustrating.
Anyway, I digress.
No, but I get it because as a type 1 diabetic, the way it's portrayed in media is often completely wrong, which is why I was so excited in the books where we've had it come up with Fangirl Down. And then one that I have back here. I keep forgetting the name of it. Alive and Beating. That one had a good portrayal as well. It wasn't as featured as much, but I think both of those this year, because a lot of times it's not. And I feel like people need to know, like in that situation, it would have been helpful to be like, hey, I have a rare form. She has a rare form of this or whatever, Yeah.
So I read that and then I had another Neighbor Books book club fail because I was trying to read Throne of Glass and didn't finish it. And then this one was A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr, which is an older book, but it was good. I was surprised. It's only like 100 pages long, so it's a very short book, which I thought that I could finish it really quickly. And I did not. But again, it came down to I was just reading too many books at once and splitting my time. So that one, it's a World War I veteran, comes back from the war and is trying to basically find his way in life again. And he has shell shock. And I thought it was really well done. The last 50 pages flew by. So that one I would recommend. And it is a short book. So I think you'll get something out of it. And then I'm currently reading Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams. And that's the one where she was a Facebook, I don't know if she would call her an executive, but she had a higher position in Facebook. And it's kind of her memoir about what it was like working for them. And she's talking about geopolitics. Like she worked for United Nations before Facebook and talking about how Facebook went international, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting to read and how they didn't really have much of a plan. They
Yeah.
were just kind of winging it. So I was worried that I would feel the same way I did about Anxious Generation with this
Yeah.
book, but I'm not. It's actually
Okay.
really interesting and holding my interest. And
Okay,
then, of
cool.
course, I am reading Throne of Glass by
Woohoo!
Sarah J. Maas. Still liking it. I just crossed over the halfway mark.
Woohoo!
So again, that's what I plan on doing today is just reading Throne of Glass, and I want to
Yes.
get finished with it, which I don't know if I can finish the whole book today.
I know, because you're reading
maybe
it
this weekend.
physically, right?
I'm
And
reading
you're-
it physically. I'm a slower physical book reader, so
Yes.
I need to get on that.
No.
So what have you been doing literary lately?
Okay, not a whole lot again, but kind of, because
Okay.
I picked up Throne of Glass because you were reading it, and then I just zipped past you. And so I was doing both the read and listen
Mhm.
in the car. And so I don't even know how much, if I could say 50-50 or whatever, but I finished it a couple of days ago and I was just like, oh, I mean, I know how good this series is, but then you read it and you're like, I forgot how good you are. And so I immediately jumped in to the second one, which is Crown of Midnight, and I am 55% in.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if I finish it because this book, when you get to Atlanta, which I really hope when you finish Throne of Glass, you decide to continue on. And I will tell you, I have the regular audiobooks of all of these, and I really like, you're probably pickier with narrators, but I like the audiobooks of this one. Like to the point that I'll be like, do I want to keep listening and maybe color on my iPad rather than read it myself? And that says something if I'm saying that,
Yeah.
or at least to my taste. But anyway, I will probably do some. I'll probably finish it tonight because it's gotten to that point where, like, I'm thinking in my head all the things that will happen before the end of this book, and I'm like, it's just going to be go, 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 go. And the book already was like go, 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 go,
Fast
go.
paced. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the next book, they're all so good, but the third book is like, my gosh, it's like there's just the character development in the third book.
Okay.
It's
I
just
was not
amazing.
selling Secret of Secrets. You are hands down selling Throne of Glass series for me. I'm like, oh, I want to go read it now.
As you will see, you got to keep going, Leyna. Like, you got to keep going. Because, like, I also know in the third book, we get introduced to more characters and, like, more. It's like she eases you into the plot lines.
Okay.
So, like, there's other things that get brought in. And then at first, you're like, ugh, I don't care about this. And then all of a sudden, you're like waiting for those chapters. Wait, go back to that. I want to know more. Anyway, sorry. I'm just really excited. And so actually I want to thank you for that because I probably would not have picked it back up right now, except you were reading it for your book club and I got so excited. I was like, okay, maybe I'll reread it. So there you go.
Can't wait.
And yeah, the other thing is I'm still working through my 90-day reading plan. I've been like doing almost like every other night because I'm really tired at night, but I'm really enjoying it. I've gotten past the Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. I've already read Joshua, Judges, and Ruth, and I'm in First Samuel. So it's like, it's pretty action-packed from here on out until we get into a lot of prophecy, and then it gets a little like, what is happening? But I got a few days before that. Anyway, all right, that's all I've got that I can think of.
That's it. All right. I still feel like that's pretty good. You finished a book, whereas a little bit ago you were talking about you hadn't finished any books. How many books have you read, I guess, for all of July, August, September?
Okay, I have like kind of an overview that I made. So I read 17 books, 11 in July, 2 in August, 4 in September so far, but this book I'll finish. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would love to finish Crucial Confrontations. It's only a couple of chapters just to go ahead and wrap that up because like you were saying, you were reading all those books, and depending on the season I'm in or the month I'm in, I can do that. But I had been doing that for so many months that then it got to be where like, I can't do this anymore.
I just need to wrap it up.
I just need to wrap them all up and stay focused. And so I feel like that's something that's hanging over my shoulder to just finish. So hopefully I will finish that one too. If I look at like the overview of these, 10 of the books were 5 stars. Of those 5 stars, 3 were rereads, Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Throne of Glass. 4 were nonfiction, Everything is Tuberculosis, My Good Side, which is a memoir by a reality star, Sheena Shea.
Okay.
The Killer Across the Table, which was true crime, and The Anatomy of Motive, which was true crime. Then 1 was professional development, Talk, Read, Talk, Write, a practical routine for learning in all content areas K through 12. 2 were new release fiction, What's Yours Is Mine, and Beach Club Bloodshed. Then 6 were 4 stars. 1 was professional development, giving students a say. 1 was a thriller, With a Vengeance by the one and only Riley Sager. 2 were fantasy, Filthy Rich Fae, Fallen Court. And then I had 1 3-star, a thriller, The Good Sister, unfortunately, by Sally Hepworth. So that is my overview. So what about you? How many? I know you read more than 17 in this time.
Read more than 17. I read 33 total for the quarter. I'm hoping that I'll have Throne of Glass done by
You got
September
a couple
30th.
of days.
I have a couple days still, so that might be 34 by the end. But 14 books in July, 11 books in August, and then September has been a surprisingly slow month. 8 books.
Okay.
And I looked at this. July, I had 2 physical books. So that was one of my personal goals, was to read 10 physical books. I've surpassed that. August, I read 3 physical books, and then September, I read 1 physical book. But I've also sprinkled in some Kindle books in there too. That's something I feel like just reaching out beyond the audiobooks is a stretch for me. July, I read 4 5-star books, 9 4-star books, and 1 3-star. August, it was 3 5-star books, 6 4-star books, 1 3-star book, and 1 2-star book.
Ooh. No, I don't know what that was.
I think you do. We'll talk about it.
Okay, maybe I do.
And then September, so far, I've read 4 5-star books, 2 4-star books, and 2 3-star books.
Okay.
So it's interesting that September, I've read the fewest books, but I've also read some really big books. So Secret of Secrets was 23 hours. I finished Mistborn, the physical copy of that, which was like 600 something pages. I read Carl's Doomsday Scenario, which again was a big book. So while I haven't read as much in September, I feel like volume wise, like page length wise, I've read quite a bit.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh, that is so much. That's cool.
Yeah. So what was your favorite book of July?
Okay, so my favorite book in July was What's Yours Is Mine by Jennifer Jablay. And which, by the way, if you don't know this, episode 38, you should go listen. We had her on and talked all about her book.
And she was just so fun and down to earth. And I loved hearing about her own family experience in the sports world and then seeing her write about it, which, if you don't remember, What's Yours Is Mine is about a dance family, two girls that are in the dance world, and then their respective families.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just very, very well done.
It was.
It was a page turner. That was the one I think I read 48 hours, and you read in 24.
Yes.
So it was very much kept you going.
Yeah, you didn't want to put it down once you started.
Yeah. That was my number 1. Did you have any runners up?
Okay, so this is what's kind of bad about this is that the other ones that I just loved reading, because remember, they gave me all the warm fuzzies, were Jurassic Park and The Lost World, and I've already read them, but they really did. I don't know why. They're such a comfort read, and those 2. And I know that they're rereads, but I don't know. They're just, it's like visiting old friends. I don't know. What about you?
For me, Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. It was just a fun romance, and her books always include some sort of, I would say, supernatural, magical realism, something in that realm. And I really enjoy her books. And so that was really good. The Busybody Book Club, I thought that was like a
warm... I finished mine in August.
Warm, comforty read. That was super fun. I really liked that. Run for the Hills, which is one that I read for the Neighbor Books Book Club, and I really liked it. Got mixed reviews in the book club, but I thought that one was fun. And then that was also the month that I read Catch and Kill, which I gave it 5 stars. It is a nonfiction book, so I felt like it was kind of like over in its own
No, I get that.
realm.
Like, I really struggle if it has someone's real life story in it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pretty much always give it 5 stars because the ability to be vulnerable, especially about such hard
Mhm.
topics and all the people that he must have interviewed and everything. And that is such a heavy topic, all of that
Yeah.
stuff with him that he revealed and everything. Yeah. So I get it. I know I kind of keep the nonfiction and the fiction separate in my head too.
Just a weird thing. And I don't read as much nonfiction either, so
Hmm.
that also takes it different
Yeah.
level. What about August? What was your favorite
Well, hang on.
book?
I forgot. I'm looking at my July because this I have
Okay.
too many books on this list. I also really enjoyed Everything is Tuberculosis. That was
Yes,
one
that was
that
good.
you had told me was like it's funny because it is a delightful listen of a heavy topic. So it was very
Yes.
well done. And then you're gonna laugh at this. I don't even remember what happened in With a Vengeance. But I know I really liked it. The Riley Sager. That was the Riley Sager, right?
Now I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember. Let me go
I
look on.
remember that was the one that had the train on the cover, right?
Yes, that's the one. Okay,
Okay.
now I remember. Now I
Because
remember.
you told me you really liked it, and so I put it on my library hold list,
Yes.
and it's like, in 6 months' time.
Well,
I'm like,
I
"Oh my
have
gosh."
Emily's physical copy, so if you
Oh,
wanna borrow it. So yeah, that one, that was the other one that I just wanted to say those 2 because I just forgot. But anyway, but yes,
mhm.
August. Okay, I only read 2 books. So the winner is the Busybody Book Club because it was
Woohoo!
between that and The Younger Wife, which is my least favorite of all the books I read in the quarter. So good job, Busybody Book Club. So what
So, I
about you?
think my number 1 was the 7 o'clock Club, and again, it had such a good twist. I I hesitate to say that it has some magical realism,
Okay.
supernatural stuff in it. It does, but it's part of the twist. Like, you have to
Okay.
read it.
You have to read it. Okay.
But it really, I even messaged the author on Instagram and I was like, this book was just so well done. I never saw things coming.
What's it
It
called
really,
again? The
the
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock Club.
Okay. Let me flip pages because you guys don't know this. I have this random notebook that I'm jotting things down all the time when we're on here. But anyway, I need to flip. So the 7 o'clock club.
Yes. So that was my number 1 favorite in August. I had a couple of runners up. Shadow Princess,
Hmm.
which I really liked, part of the Zodiac Academy.
Thank you. I was
I
like,
was about to say, you look like you're trying to figure it out.
I know this one. I still haven't even finished it. I'm like 90 something percent or something or 80
I
something
thought it was
percent.
really good. Starting a series is hard for me because I want to go ahead and finish everything in
Yeah.
the series, but then other books come up and then I'm like, well, I want to read that one too. And so I have a really hard time of not being able to just read through. And I think the reason that I didn't say this was one of my favorite books, or, it's a runner up, is because the characters, I get lost with so many
Yeah.
characters because it is
There
a
are a
big
lot.
world, and trying to keep track of that. And I hadn't read the other one, like the last book in the series, for a few months. Like,
Yeah.
it had been several months. And so going back and trying to read it, I was like, okay, I'm getting lost, which makes me think that you should read series one after the other.
Yeah.
But whenever they're released, there's at least a year in between
I
them.
know. But then I
So
think a lot of people, that's why we keep rereading before the next one comes out. And that's part of,
true.
I really wish Sarah J. Maas would announce when the next book is coming out because as I'm reading Throne of Glass, I'm like, and I'm talking about rereading Akatar, Crescent City, I'm going to want to reread that too.
Hmm.
But I also feel like I'm going to want to do that closer. And so I'm like, but I know she had, like, it's at the earliest it will come out 2027, I'm guessing. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to reread all this stuff again because I won't remember.
Yeah. That does make it hard.
It does. And I don't know how people waited for these books. Like, Lena, you'll understand when you get to the end of book 5 that I have no idea what the name of it is because I'm trying. Crown of Midnight, second one. I'm
Okay.
memorizing the second one this time through, the title. The fact that we know they had to wait 2 years for that story to pick back up is just
It's rough.
flabbergasting. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I would have been so angry at her. I was angry at her and I didn't have to wait. So But I had to read a
You
whole
just had you had to wait until you read the next book.
Well, yeah, I had to read an 800-page book before it picked back up where I wanted to know what was happening.
Yeah.
But that ended up being like one of my favorite books, so it didn't matter. It's fine. But anyway,
It's fine. It's fine.
it's
So
fine.
what
Anyway,
about September? What was your favorite book in September?
um, in September, my favorite book, actually, which by the way, Busybody Book Club,
Mhm.
episode 40. If you want to
Okay.
go listen to that because we did talk about that there.
Good callback. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, so September, it was Beach Club. It's Beach Club Bloodshed
Mhm.
because again, I have only read 4 books. I don't let myself make a favorite be one that is a reread, and the other 2 were true crime, but they weren't my favorite true crimes. Like I've
Okay.
definitely read, like they're good, they're interesting, they're a little bit, I don't know, they're a bit much this time around. And so Beach Club Bloodshed by Chris Wellert, who we're going to have her on in a few weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited to have her on
I know,
and
and we'll get to
talk
talk
about her
about it then.
book.
Yeah.
That was my runner up for this month because
Ooh.
Mistborn took the number 1
Oh,
spot,
yeah.
which I was like, Chris, I love your book, but I don't know if
I
Mistborn was
know.
just, it's so good. Yeah, it was just totally different. And plus I had the experience of reading it with my husband.
Yes, that's so
And
cool.
he even asked me today, he was like, when are we reading the next one?
Aw.
And I was like, whenever you want to. Like, I thought you had said you wanted some time in between books. So I was giving you time. But
Yeah, exactly.
let's
So
go.
I love that though. Yay. I know, but
So
Derek, don't mess with my Throne of Glass time.
that's
I'm
what,
just saying.
when you were talking about Throne of Glass, I'm like, oh, but I have to read this other series.
I know. I know. Oh my
So,
goodness. Yeah.
and then my other runners up for September, because I had 2 runners up for September, was The Names, which was the one where the mom named the baby different things and their lives took
Oh.
different
Oh
turns, which was
yeah.
really good. And then A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, which was just a fun, cute, cozy mystery love story type thing.
Cool.
So,
I
but
like
yeah.
it.
So, what were your misses? We've talked about your
Yeah.
wins.
So in July, I don't know that I would say I had an actual miss,
Mhm.
but I will say I'm trying to look here because I don't want to.
I know you don't like to call out books that you
No,
don't really like, but I think this is important because not every book is for every person.
that
And
is true.
sometimes you will, people will be like, you didn't like that book? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, no, what was The Good Sister? No, I think I liked it. I gave it 4
You like The
stars.
Good Sister. That was Sally Hepworth.
Yeah, I liked that one. I mean, I guess I'm gonna go with, which is probably not funny. One of the books I read this summer for professional development,
Mhm,
giving students a say, I felt like it didn't really have a whole lot of new and useful stuff
mhm,
because I do really enjoy reading theory. Like I like reading theory and I'm okay if there's a lot of theory and not as much practical, but I didn't feel like this was a very strong book. So I guess I'm going to say that for the nonfiction purpose because I read a lot of other ones this summer that
mhm,
were really good. But yeah, the others were all like 4 stars. So this does make it harder because I did enjoy Filthy Rich Fae and
mhm.
Fallen Court. So, I don't know. But those I know she has another series and I got them all from Kindle Unlimited and then I had other things to read and, so I haven't
Say,
picked it
my
back up.
sister's been reading the Vampire
Is she
series.
liking it?
She's liking it.
Okay, good.
So
I'll read it eventually. So I don't really have, I guess, I don't really have one that I'm like, on this month.
the only
So,
one that I had given a 3-star read was Winter Street, and that was by Ellen Hildebrand, and it was my Christmas in July.
oh yeah.
And I just felt like I want a Christmas book to like make me feel warm and cozy, and this one
Yeah.
just didn't do that for
Didn't do
me.
that. Yeah.
So
That's fair.
that was that. What about August? I know you read 2 books.
I read 2 books and
So,
I read my least favorite book of the quarter, The
okay.
Younger Wife, which I did talk about it when we were doing literary
Hmm.
lately before, but it was one where the twist did not play out. She gave away one, so I was like, was it even supposed to be a twist?
Hmm.
And then the final twist was not as good as she intended it to be.
Okay.
So it just wasn't. She can write amazing books. This just was not one of them. So don't read The Younger Wife.
I would have to agree with that. I love her books, love her,
Hmm.
but that one was just not as strong as a book
No.
as some of them. I think she has one, I think it's called The Soulmate.
Yeah, that one was not my favorite either.
That one wasn't my favorite either. Those
That was the
those were the
first one
two
I
that were.
read.
Oh,
And so I was like, maybe I don't like this author." But no. I just happened to get, because I said the same thing with, what's her name? Alice Feeney. The first
mhm.
Alice Feeney that I read was Daisy Darker, and I was like, I did not like Daisy Darker. And I think people that did like Daisy Darker clearly have never read And Then There Were None, and then also did not listen to me pick it apart by why so many of the things were ridiculous and
Yeah.
impossible. And yeah, so I'm just saying, Daisy Darker, I did not like. And so then I was like, she sucks. And then Emily was like, no, she doesn't. You have to read this one.
And see, and that's what I mean when I say that not every book is for every person,
Hmm.
because even the same author might have a book that you really like. And I did
Hmm.
that with TJ Klune.
Hmm.
I love several of TJ Klune's books. I hated, I think it was Master of Puppets, or I
Something
think
like
it
that.
was a book club book for us, for our book club. And I was like, please don't read this.
Yeah, I
The
didn't read
Master of
it.
Puppets, or the In the Puppets' Lives, or something like that. And I was like, this was just, it was supposed to be a Pinocchio
Oh
retelling.
gosh.
And it was just, it was so not good. Which again, I love TJ Klune. I love his books. I think I saw him in person and he
Hmm.
was a phenomenal speaker. And I was just so like enamored with him. And I was sure
Hmm.
I was going to love this book. And it was just a
Yeah.
letdown. So, I mean,
No, I get
keep that
that.
in mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because that's like even like with Riley Sager. I've
Mhm.
read all but one of his books, and there are only a couple where it's like middle of the road. They're either really good or kind of bad. So I do think I haven't. So I of his last three books, I've read two of them, and they were my two favorites of his.
Mhm.
And then the one in between them, I haven't read it. It had very mixed reviews. So I don't know. I mean, I might eventually read it because since I've read all of his other books, I feel like I should. But it's the same thing that I think the only one left, I think it was the one that we all read a couple of years ago.
I know I've read that. I've read a few of his.
But I think that's the one where we all were like, this one is so, like, I think we all really liked it,
Okay.
which doesn't always happen. Because, like,
No.
I know Emily isn't a huge fan of Riley Sager, but that one I was like, okay, so he can write a really good book because he did a good job with that one. But the others, I think, were
Is
all
he
like
the one
4
that
stars.
did the book and it is, gosh, the cover has like a chandelier on it. Oh,
I
home
don't,
is something.
Home Before Dark. He did Home Before Dark, which you read that one, I think. That was a green cover. That's with the old house where the parents were like, our daughter saw ghosts, and so we moved out of this house.
Which one had it was there was someone buried in the rafters of the kitchen or something.
That was that one, Home Before
That one.
Dark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did not like that one.
yeah. I'm still mad about that one too. We've talked about that. Like, there are
Mhm.
so many things that, like, I'm gonna say one of them. There is no way that in like the 100 years that this house has existed, that
That
no
no
one knew there was
one.
a door behind a bush that went into the house, or that this like wardrobe in a bedroom had a door in the back, a hidden door that slid open to said staircase. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. That no
Yeah,
one found either of those.
I
A
agree.
bush. Like, really?
Must have been a
Really?
really good bush.
I guess. I guess. Anyway, I'm still that
So
one. There's other things that I'm mad about, but I won't ruin the rest for people who a lot of people love that book, but I do not either.
my least favorite book for August was Morning Glory Milking Farm,
Oh god.
which it was just
I
such a
forgot about
departure
that.
from anything that I've read. And
I forgot.
yeah, we
I
don't have to
forgot.
talk about it, but monster romance is not my jam, apparently. And I don't want to hear about, yeah, all the things. And, people have said this is a really good book. So clearly there is an audience for this, and clearly it's just not me. And that's
Or
okay.
me. I'd rather read the dinosaur one where he
The
bites off her arm.
Allosaurus.
Yeah, the wet hot Allosaurus summer, you guys. I'm pretty sure they took that off Kindle Unlimited because of people like me making fun of it and
Aw.
posting about it. It's okay. It's so bad. Only made
And
it
then
like 2 chapters.
I had a runner up for my least favorite book.
Oh.
which this is the only month that I had that. It was Home of the American Circus. And I think I talked about it at one point, but it was just not very good.
The title sounds like it should be.
And it's talking about, like, where the circus started, and it's this I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just
A
not
miss.
for me, a miss, a big miss. Um,
Yeah.
but
It's okay.
that happens.
It's
What
okay.
about September? Did you have a
So
miss?
they all got 5 stars, so no. I did not have Okay, here's what I will say. Okay, The Anatomy of Motive was
Mhm,
particularly hard for me to read. It was interesting, but it was more focused on the whys behind different crimes, and it was interesting. I've shared about it on here, but some of it was really hard to because I listened to it, to listen to and to realize just the level of depravity. Like, some of the people, like, the killing isn't
mhm.
even really the purpose, or the SAing was not the point, and then the murder was. And just like the horrible things that some of these people do to other people, and how they get off on that.
Yeah,
And like, there can be different motivations, and some of it, like, because, like, I feel like if you're a serial killer, you have some sort of, like, something's not right in your head. Now, that being said, through all this stuff with motive and watching the patterns, the reality is you can have a mental disorder that could be a contributing factor to why you do
you're
this.
doing
But there
these
is a
things, yeah.
difference between being actually legally insane. If you're legally insane, they have to be able to prove that you did not know what you were doing, or you were compelled so hard that you could not help it. Like, you had to do it. And that is very rare. That is very rare. Usually you can see the steps they take to not get caught, and that demonstrates more of
Premeditation.
yeah, that shows that they had some premeditation. They did not, because if they don't think anything they're doing is wrong, they just do their thing and are almost lucky to not get caught. So, and there can be a combo. Like, Ted Bundy at the end just went on his rampage. And at that point, he was very sloppy and everything. And they say sometimes they hit that point. Now, that's not to say that these people should not be locked up forever. And but yeah, it was hard to get into the mindset. To me, I find more interesting about the profiling is when they're like, we can look at people with this background
Mhm.
and create a profile, and they're like almost 100% correct with that. This is different because this is like getting inside their head, and like why, all the different reasons. And like, what was cool, though, is it talked about how you can have two people raised in the exact same family with the same experiences and maybe the same hardships, and
Mhm.
one of them will grow up to be a completely law-abiding citizen who contributes to the world, and then the other one becomes a serial killer. Like, and that part is what's really scary, because then you're like,
Yeah. I
"What'd I do?"
mean, there's people that have been relatively normal that have turned out to be serial killers
Yeah,
too. Like, it's not
yeah,
I mean, just look at
yeah.
Ted Bundy. Like,
Mhm.
he seemed
Yeah.
like a normal person you
He
wouldn't
did, and
suspect.
he did, and he was living as a normal citizen for a lot of the
Mhm.
time. What I've thought about a lot is, like, people that kill one time, and I've heard things like anger is a short madness, and I do think that's true too. But I
Mhm.
do think when people do that, I don't think it's fair when they get the insanity thing, unless it was true by, like, if you come across someone who is harming your child and you kill them, okay, that I don't think you're crazy. Like, I know you shouldn't have killed the person, but I
Right.
don't know what I would do if I came upon someone hurting my child. Like, I don't know what I would do. Hope I don't ever find out. And so, like, that is interesting to me, because I do think there are situations like that. And we know there's like lots of crimes of passion.
Mhm.
But again, some of those have been premeditated, it built up. It wasn't just in the moment. I think there's exceptions, but for the most part, no. Anyway. All right, so that was mine. So I know I didn't really sell it as a bad book, but I'm telling you, of all the John Douglases that I've read, that one for me was the hardest to
Okay.
finish. All
Which
right, what about you?
that's saying something.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was very clearly Dan Brown's Secret of Secrets, which was disappointing because I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I do feel like it started out strong
Mhm.
because I had put aside the one book, the Adam Silvera
Yeah.
book, because I was like, I just can't get into this right now, and started reading this, and I was like, oh, this is good. And I was flying through it and it was going pretty well. And then I just hit a point where I was like, I just am not interested anymore. I just want it to be over. And some of it, he talked about, it was interesting because he did talk about like what happens after you die and
Hmm.
like the moment of death, kind of like
Interesting.
what happens
Like
like when,
physically
and like with your consciousness.
okay.
And so that's kind of what it was talking about was the moment of death. Do you, um, like when people say they see a bright light and then if
Mhm.
they have like an out of body experience and people that have gone through like a near death experience, they'll be being able to see what was
Yeah.
happening
I feel
from
like
like
that's a very
above.
common thing that
Um,
I mean, I've
and so
even had someone in my family have an experience like that.
that's one of the things that they talked about in this book, which I was like, this is really fascinating, interesting scientific stuff because he does do a lot of research and I feel like he usually presents things very well. And so
Mhm.
it was interesting to hear about some of that stuff. And so it did capture my attention for some of it. And then some of it, it was just like, I just don't care.
Well,
So,
and that's what was so funny to me because I feel like so Lena and I talk on Marco Polo all the time with our friend Emily, and I have been getting behind here and there. And so the last I had heard, y'all were both like zipping through and really liking it. And then I get on and I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss something? Something happened here that they're not as excited anymore. And
Mhm.
so I was waiting for us to get on here because I was like, okay, something happened. And I know y'all did say that. You did say that on Marco Polo about like how it just was
And
getting long. And Emily said like there was like 100 pages too much. And
yeah. And
that's hard. That can
I
ruin a
feel
good
like
book.
he is supposed to be this professor of symbology and all of this. And they didn't really touch on that as much this time.
Oh,
Like there was a little bit in there, but I felt like it could have been anybody, if that
yeah.
makes sense. And I
Yeah.
think what makes his book special is Robert Langdon is the symbologist and he
Mm-hmm.
does find clues about stuff and
Yeah.
they didn't really use his brain as much, I guess, or his specialty.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was a
cool,
thing.
cool.
But so that was kind of my miss. Overall, I think as usual, read a lot of good books.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
No, me neither. Me neither. So, yay.
So are we ready to talk about our next part?
Yes.
Books that are coming out, which I'm excited for.
I am too. So do you
So
wanna do
I
your first one?
Okay, so I made an extensive list, so I'm gonna pare it down a little bit and just talk about some that I'm really excited about.
Okay.
Um,
It's okay, you can still mention them.
I'll still mention them.
Yeah.
Allie Hazelwood has her sequel to Bride coming out, which was
Oh,
Mate,
yes.
and so
Yes. When does that one
I'm
come out? Because I know that's is that
October 7th. It
oh,
comes
yeah,
out
aren't we
October
having
7th.
aren't we doing that and an Agatha Christie or something? Or do we
So
put Mate November?
Mate is our November
Okay,
book club
perfect.
book. So I'm excited to read that because I really did enjoy Bride, and I
Yes.
know a lot of people they read um what was her one book that was really good?
The Love Hypothesis.
The Love Hypothesis. They loved that and then were kind of disappointed with some of her other books.
Me.
I felt like you're like, hand up.
Mhm.
I felt like Bride was a departure for her and it
Yes.
felt like a new book. Like it didn't feel like the same recycled story where
No.
it's a tall, skinny science
No,
guy.
but I still am traumatized by nodding and how I did not know that that was a thing with
I
animals.
didn't either. And I remember y'all had read it before I did. And I was like, what is it? Because you were talking about it. And I'm like, I'm scared to Google it.
Yeah.
What is it? So, but I don't think you have to be scared to Google it because it's,
Just don't look at images.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I didn't, so but I assume there are images that I don't wanna see.
yeah. I would
Anyway,
assume so
but
as
yes, no,
well.
I'm excited about Mate too. Yeah.
And then I know this was the Kindle Book of the Month where you got to choose a book,
Ooh, which one?
the Geneva Rose,
Oh, yeah, I haven't read it yet.
dating after the end of the world. So it was for September that you could pick it for the Kindle first reads.
Yeah, but is it only
And
out this month?
it comes out in October.
Oh, I thought it
So
was out because we were able to get it.
we were able to get it. It was like a early release on
Okay.
Kindle, I believe. So yeah, that comes out in October, which Emily
Yeah,
didn't
mixed reviews.
sound like she really loved it, but it sounded like a really cool book.
I know.
Um,
We'll see. Maybe we'll love it.
maybe. I'm hoping.
Mhm.
And then this one, I haven't read Sandwich by Catherine Newman, but I've heard it's a really good book. And then she has another book coming out called Wreck. And I believe it follows some of the same characters that are in Sandwich, which I know
Okay.
it's a shorter book and highly recommended by a lot of people. I've heard it was just really good. So that's one that I'm excited to read.
Mhm.
And then Conform by Ariel Sullivan
Okay.
and Red City by Marie Lu, who are both going to be at the November Texas Book Festival.
Uh-huh.
So I want to read those. I have a list of books that I want to read before we go. I don't know if I'll get through them all, but
Yeah.
those are two that I want to read. I would love to go see Ariel Sullivan talk about Conform.
Okay.
That's one it's a paid one because she's
Mm.
going to be talking with Jenna Hager Bush. Jenna Bush
Oh.
Hager. Um,
Yeah, Jenna Bush Hager that way,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
She didn't
So,
marry in, she married out of the family.
yeah. So I think that that'll be good. And then there was a couple that I think that The Academy by Ellen Hildebrand sounded
Mhm.
really good. It
Yeah.
sounded more of like a school-based academia book, which was fun.
Yeah.
And then Harlan Coben and Louise Penny have books out.
Oh,
So if
cool.
that's your jam, the Harlan Coben book is co-written by Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that. They both posted
It's
about that.
it's Gone Before Goodbye.
I'll
And
have to read
then
that one.
Louise Penny, this is the 20th book in the
Wow.
Inspector Gamache series called The Black Wolf. I've read 4 or 5 of the Louise Penny Inspector Gamache books, and I've loved
Okay.
the show. They did a show that only lasted 1 season, and they did not bring it back. But
Hmm.
I haven't gotten up to book 20, but so those are my October books that I'm looking forward to. John Grisham has a book out,
I
The
think I saw
Widow.
that too. Well, this
Um,
is good. I only have October and December books, so
okay.
you'll get to cover November. All right, so for mine, and I don't know if I will read this one, but The Intruder by Frida McFadden. I
Okay.
feel like I've had a couple that were misses, so maybe this one will be a hit. And this one is Casey's cabin in the wilderness is not built for a hurricane. Her roof shakes, the lights flicker, and the tree outside her front door sways ominously in the wind. But she's a lot more worried about the girl she discovers lurking outside her kitchen window. She's young, she's alone, and she's covered in blood. The girl won't explain where she came from or loosen her grip on the knife in her right hand,
Oh,
and when Casey makes a disturbing discovery in the middle of the night, things take a turn for the worse. The girl has a dark secret, one she'll kill to keep, and if Casey gets too close to the truth, she may not live to see the morning. So this one, I feel like, well, no, I know. I read one earlier this year, I think, where it took place, where it was a situation where like people like forced proximity in a
mhm.
sense that then turned into a kidnapping situation. And I did not love it. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe we'll see. Hers are short and they're on Kindle Unlimited, so I don't ever buy them. So, all
Okay.
right. And then, so there's my thriller one. Then Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. Oh, yeah, that one comes out October 7th. So does this one. And if you ever read oh my gosh, what is the series? I read the trilogy and then she's done spinoffs and stuff, but the Caravel series,
I haven't read that.
they're YA. I listened to the audiobooks and really enjoyed them like in 2021 maybe. But this is I think a standalone and it's a new one. It says it starts with and it's modern. Like those were kind of like old-timey things.
Uh-huh.
So it starts with a class in an old movie theater, Folklore 517, local legends and urban myths taught by a woman called the professor. Most students believe the professor's stories are just fiction, but Holland St. James has always been convinced that magic is real. When she tracks down a local legend named the Watchman, who can supposedly tell you when you'll die, the world finally makes sense, except that the Watchman tells her she will die at midnight tomorrow unless she finds an ancient object called the alchemical
Alchemical.
that one heart. With the clock ticking, Holland is pulled deeper into this magical world in the heart of Los Angeles and into the path of a magnetic stranger. Everything about him feels like a bad idea, but he promises Holland that her sister sent him to protect her. As they chase clues and stories that take them closer to the, say the word, al-
Alchemical.
that one, heart, Holland realizes everyone in this intoxicating new world is lying to her, even the stranger. And if she can't figure out whom to trust, not even the, say it,
Alchemical.
heart will save her. So, anyway, I thought that sounded interesting. Like, is it fantasy? Is it
Mhm.
not? Like, I'm intrigued by it. And then Fairy Merry Christmas by Debbie Maycomer comes out October 21st.
Okay.
And let me see if there's anything that I really need, because this is a long description too. Um, Okay, maybe we just read it. Avery and Reed Bond have always shared a close knit relationship, having weathered life's storms side by side. Even so, Avery often finds herself exasperated by her brother's relentless matchmaking, while Reed can't resist teasing his sister. After all, isn't that what siblings do? Following the recent passing of their beloved Graham, the woman who lovingly raised them, Reed and Avery decide to honor her memory by spending Christmas together. However, their holiday plans take an unexpected turn when a mechanical failure strands Avery on the ferry in the middle of the Puget Sound and Reed waiting for her arrival. At first, the inconvenience seems to halt the festivities, but soon Avery and Reed discover that this unforeseen detour might just be a blessing in disguise. While stuck on the ferry, Avery meets a handsome sailor and witnesses a Christmas miracle that reignites her belief in the holiday spirit. Meanwhile, Reed runs into a coworker who is also waiting for a family member to arrive, sparking an unexpected and delightful connection. In this tale of holiday magic, the Bond siblings find themselves swept up in taking a chance on love, proving that sometimes the best moments in life come when we least expect them.
That does sound very heartwarming.
I know. I know. I'm
Sounds
like,
very good.
okay, I might have to read that one. That one sounds cute. And then my last one for October, 10 Christmases Without You by Jenny Hale, coming out October
Oh,
23rd. And it's Emmy Brewer's 10th Christmas since she lost her mom, and without her, Emmy's floundering. Her job is pointless, and she struggles to find direction and passion. So when her sister invites Emmy's childhood crush and former neighbor, Charlie Russell, to their family Christmas, and he shows up, given her state, Emmy is anything but excited. Their meeting sets off a string of events that bring them together once a year at Christmas. Through trying moments, laughter, and bad timing, Emmy must face her life's choices and decide what she actually wants. Will it be Charlie, or will he be the catalyst for something else entirely?
and I always like her books. I
Me
still want to
too.
read the one that she had that came out in
Mhm. This
September,
summer. Yeah, something like that.
August.
Something like that, yeah.
That was supposed to be kind of like a different type
Genre,
of
yeah.
book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So,
need to too.
there was one in October that I wrote down that I thought you would like.
Ooh.
It's by Rachel Corbett, The Monsters We Make: Murder,
Ooh.
Obsession, and the Rise of Criminal Profiling.
Oh, yeah, I do need to read that one then.
Because that one, it just sounded like a you book.
It does sound like a me book. It does. Yes. All right, what about,
So
November?
November, the first book that I found that I was like, that sounds interesting. It's a memoir by Margaret Atwood, who wrote The Handmaid's Tale, as well
Ooh.
as 100 other books. Like, she's written quite
But
extensively.
she
I think she's
that's her
known
most
for The
famous though,
Handmaid's Tale.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's called The Book of Lives, a memoir of sorts. I saw her, I think it was 2019,
Mhm.
and she was doing a book signing here in Dallas, and she spoke, and what an interesting life she's led. Because her family, they're Canadian, they lived kind of out in a cabin. Um, very her parents were religious, and so she would read the Bible for fun, and it was different than what I expected.
Mhm.
But then hearing her talk about how she got her ideas and different things, I thought it sounded really good. Or this memoir sounds really good based off of that.
Yeah.
And then let's see here. Jessie Q. Sutano, which she did the Dial A for Aunties, and
Okay.
then Vera Wong series as well.
Mhm.
She has a book coming out, Next Time Will Be Our Turn, and
Hmm.
it's genre spanning, it says. Um,
That's cool.
Centers on relationships as Izzy Chen learns the truth about her glamorous and formidable grandmother's star-crossed love story with a woman she met in college. So I'm like, that sounded interesting.
That does.
Um, then there is a Jack Reacher book coming out, and this is book 30. So
Dang.
Lee Child has been working overtime on this. And then
Which I haven't read any of those. Do I need to read those?
they're fun, but again, it's not like amazing reads,
Okay.
I would say. But
Okay.
I have fun reading them whenever I do read them. I've
Okay.
read 4, I think.
Yeah.
Um, David Baldacci,
I know who you're talking about. I can picture his name on books.
and I couldn't remember what books he's written, but I was like, okay, I know the name. But he has a book called Strangers in Time, that's coming out. It's set in London in 1944 about a bereaved bookshop owner and two teenagers scarred by the Second World War and the healing and hope they find in one another.
Okay.
And it just sounds very good. I won't read the full description because it's
You
long.
you can.
But
I read all of mine,
well, the
so
Goodreads one, it's like super long.
okay.
But I would just say that it sounds good. Leave it at that. There was one, okay, Rob Riggle, who you've probably, if you saw him, he's an actor,
Okay.
comedian. If you saw him, you would know who he is. You're like, oh, okay, Rob Riggle. His book he has coming out, it's a memoir, Grit, Spit, and Never Quit, A Marine's Guide to Comedy and Life. And it's actor, comedian, and U.S. Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel Riggle fills his memoir with the lessons he learned as a soldier and explores how they helped him find his footing in Hollywood and in life, which I was like, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Adrienne Young has a new book called Fallen City coming out, and I think we've read her books before and really liked them. And then E. Lockhart had a book come out
Oh.
in November, We Fell Apart, which
Oh,
I
is it
haven't read any E. Lockhart, but I know that you liked.
I liked the one. Is it part of that series or a different one? We Were Liars. I loved We Were Liars. I
Let's
hope it's
see.
not. Like, if it's I think it would be better because I read, like,
It is. It says
oh,
best-selling author E. Lockhart returns to the world of her TikTok sensation, We Were Liars, with all her signature beachy gothic atmosphere, family intrigue, and high-stakes romance.
okay, we'll see. Maybe it's different characters, though, because I don't think she can do more with the characters. Like, the first one was so good, and I think it was a novella, or maybe I read the second one, and I didn't love it as much. The first story is just so good.
Is
Like,
it?
it's just
So this
beautifully
says
done.
the invitation arrives out of the blue. In it, Matilda discovers a father she's never met. Kingsley Cello is a visionary, a reclusive artist, and when he asks her to spend the summer at his seaside home, Hidden Beach, Matilda expects to find a part of herself she's never fully understood. Instead, she finds Mir, her long-lost, open-hearted brother, Brock, a former child star battling demons, and brooding wild Tatum, who just wants her to leave their crumbling sanctuary. With Kingsley nowhere to be seen, Matilda must delve into the twisted heart of Hidden Beach to uncover the answers she's desperately craving. But secrets run thicker than blood, and blood runs like seawater, and everyone here is lying.
Okay, maybe. That one sounds I should look up what, because like, I just remember I read We Were Liars
Hmm.
in one sitting.
I remember you talking about it being a really good book, and so I have it
It
on my
was
list
not
of, like, I need to read this someday.
like, I remember, like, I didn't know going in
What
anything
to
about it
expect,
except
yeah.
that it was on TikTok, and I was like, "Oh, this must be a thriller." And there it is, but it's more of a mystery, but it's
Okay,
very fast paced.
okay.
So, and I loved it. Like, I'm afraid to reread it because I'm like, what if I don't love it as much? But I thought it was so unexpected. I really it was good. Let me see here. I'm looking at to see because I think I read another one. Oh, no, I never read another one. I'm thinking of something else. So I have Family of Liars, and I never read it.
Okay.
Let me see what
Is that the novella?
is it a novella? No, I have a physical copy. It might be a novella.
Okay.
Let me
You had just
but
said that you read a novella.
I thought I did, but now I'm thinking of something else. You
Okay.
know how that goes with me.
Yes.
Oh, oh, I do need to read this one. This is a that one I have it in the shelf in the other room. A prequel was that one. Okay, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm confusing things.
Now you just need to go read.
Now I'm like, what the hell am I thinking of? What book would that have been a novella with? As I was thinking about it, I was like, it doesn't really match. I have no clue.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I read another one of E. Lockhart's books. Let me see. That might be what it
Could be.
is. Okay, yes, I read a different one. That's what it is. It's the same
Okay.
author. What did I give it? I only gave it 3 stars. Okay. Oh, I said this book was a bit confusing. I could not always follow the changing timelines. It was all over the place, but it kept me hooked nevertheless. It's definitely a suspenseful YA thriller. I figured out part of the story, but I still have some questions. I will be thinking about it for a while. Clearly not.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I mean, this is giving. Okay, I'm going to give a spoiler because I don't really remember this, but I had spoilers below in this. I said it reminded me of The Fake Heiress, which I guess is a book. crossed with single white female and the talented Mr. Ripley. My main
Huh.
question is, did she even go to part of her freshman year with Imogen, or did her mom make a mistake and Julie just rolled with it? What really happened to her parents? I have so many questions.
So it sounds like it left you with a lot of questions.
So now I need to go read. Now I was thinking that was part of it, and it wasn't. And so it did take place at the beach, though. So that's why now I'm like, okay, I got to finish the second Throne of Glass, but now I also want to go read the prequel and
This
reread.
is the problem with books. There's just too
I
much to
know.
read.
When does this next one come out?
I didn't write
Hang on,
down
hang on. I'm
when I
on
just said
Goodreads.
November. I just said
November.
November.
I'm
And then
gonna find it. Keep
Anthony
going.
Hopkins has a memoir that's coming out in November as well.
Oh
And it's
my
called
gosh.
We Did Okay, Kid, a memoir, which I was like,
I guess
Anthony
that's an
Hopkins is
audiobook
just,
I'm getting.
yep. Oh, and I bet he narrates it, and I bet it's amazing. It
Well, I
says
mean,
Academy Award winner
I'll only
Hopkins
get it
writes a
if he did.
memoir about his acting career, his childhood, addiction, family life, and how watching a 1948 adaptation of Hamlet changed his life path. I didn't know
November
he had
4th
addiction
for
in
the
his
E.
life.
Lockhart
Okay.
one. Okay, I'm going to Audible right now. I have a credit that's just collecting dust. And I need to pre-order this. Anthony Hopkins. All right, what else you got? Or is that all for November?
That was pretty much it. Alex Cross book 31. So James Patterson wrote Return of the Spider.
Okay.
So if you're into Alex Cross or Jack Reacher, book 30 and 31 come out.
Excellent. Sir Anthony Hopkins does read it.
Yay.
So I just pre-ordered it.
I do like how on Audible they started counting down to whenever the book comes out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So if you look on it,
how do I see my pre-orders, by the way? Because I did pre-order something and I don't remember the name of
I'm
it.
not sure.
Because it's the one for the Texas Book Festival. Remember the true crime guy? I pre-ordered his book.
That's right.
But now I don't
It'll
remember
tell
what
you whenever it's available.
Right. But I was like, because I would have put it on this list, but then I was like, I don't remember. I didn't want to go through all the authors to try to find it again.
Find it again.
I know. I could just listen to our episode. It's fine.
Yeah. But that's all I have for November.
Okay.
Like I said, that was a lot.
I've got one for December.
Okay.
The Cottage on Christmas Gardens by Holly Martin. It says it does not come out until December 24th here. But again, she's a British author, so that might be why. And there was no info except a heartwarming, feel-good, festive romance to fall in love with this winter.
That sounds like it might be a fun Christmas Eve read.
I know.
Like if it comes out Christmas Eve, like that would just be kind of nice.
Yeah.
Because her books are usually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of spice to them. So
I know. I think that could be a fun Christmas Eve read. I'm with you on that. So
get some hot chocolate. Read that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple that sounded really good for December. And none of them are Christmassy.
Okay, well, that's okay.
Funny.
That is funny. Well, they want to get the Christmas ones out early, probably.
True. But I don't think I had any Christmassy books on my list, which is
Hey, I took care of it for you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Phaedra Patrick has the Time Hop Coffee Shop.
Ooh. So is that time travel, I guess?
Yes.
Okay.
So Phaedra Patrick writes a magical realism tale about Greta Parks, who receives some magical coffee and wishes for the perfect life of her past, which could give her a second chance in the present. Which I was like, that sounds fun.
That does sound fun.
Seeing Other People by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. The description is, two people haunted by their exes find that love isn't dead in this heartfelt romance from the beloved authors of The Roughest Draft, which is a book that I meant to read. I even got it from the library and then I didn't read it. So I've heard that it's really good, so I want to read this too. It says, Morgan is being ghosted by her ex. No, really. It's sad Zach died and became a ghost, but Morgan and Zach only ever went on the one date, and now she's being haunted by him. Zach has no desire to spend eternity with Morgan, but he can't recall his past and doesn't know how to move on. At a support group for humans and their haunters, Morgan and Zach run into Sawyer, whose fiancé-turned-ghost has started to fade. Unlike Morgan, Sawyer isn't ready to part ways with his ghost. Although they face opposite issues, Morgan and Sawyer decide to work together to solve their problems. As Morgan and Sawyer try to solve their paranormal conundrums together, they find something even more surprising, a tender, growing affection between them that threatens any unfinished business they're seeking to close. The ghost of their past might be there in spirit, but the connection between Morgan and Sawyer is as alive as anything they've ever felt. Which I'm like, that just sounds so fun.
That sounds so fun. Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that when you read that he ghosted her, like literally became a ghost.
Yeah, he became a ghost.
That was so awesome. Oh my gosh,
and
I
then
love it.
The next one, also kind of about death. It's by Maxi Dara, A Grim Reaper's Guide to Cheating Death. When a determined killer targets her brother, a Grim Reaper risks everything to save him in this delightful, cozy mystery. Nora Bird works for Scythe, and that's the letters, which might seem odd for someone as terrified of death as she is. But ever since her parents died in an accident when she was 6, she's been obsessed with avoiding risk, and what better place to learn how to cheat death than the company that employs the nation's Grim Reapers. The work enables Nora to learn all about the myriad ways you can kick the bucket, which is comforting, until one day a file crosses her desk with a name she recognizes, her twin brothers. The twins haven't spoken in 6 months, but Charlie is all Nora has left. Completely against her cautious nature, Nora steals the file and flees, racing to her brother's house. She begs him to trust her that his death is imminent, and they hit the road with his parrot, Jessica, who has plenty to say. In an attempt to evade both death and Scythe, whose sole mission of collecting souls has been disrupted by Charlie's continued existence. Alas, every time Nora saves him, a new cause of death appears in his file. Someone is determined to take Charlie out, and Nora will have to use everything she's ever learned about death to discover the culprit.
That sounds really good.
A fun, different kind of book, too. So
I like it.
And then the last one is Persephone's Curse by Katrina Leo. And this one, are the 4 Farthing sisters really descended from Persephone? This is what their aunt has always told them, that the women in their family can trace their lineage right back to the goddess of the dead. And maybe she's right, because the Farthing girls do have a ghost in the attic of their New York City brownstone, a kind and gentle ghost named Henry, who only they can see. When one of the sisters falls in love with the ghost and another banishes him to the underworld, the sisters are faced with even bigger questions about who they are. If they really are related to Persephone, and they really are a bit magic, then perhaps it's up to them to save Henry, to save the world, and to save each other. So
that sounds good.
Which I thought it was interesting that all my December books have like this magical realism death kind of thing. And I was like, what are they trying to do to us in December here?
I know, like these should be coming out like September, so we can read them in October. Yeah.
But
anyway,
they all sounded really good. So
they do.
I'm excited for November. So I will definitely have those on my Christmas wish list, I guess. Seeing what I get.
Yes.
But I think those sound like some good books. I mean, all of them.
They sound fun, yeah.
I felt like whenever we did this for Q2, I didn't have as many books.
I feel like
that
that
were
too.
coming
I
out
think
that I
we
was
were
excited
saying
about.
that like summer was not a big release time.
People are just like, nope.
Yeah, no one's
read
gonna,
what we had coming out earlier, or
exactly.
Just
Everyone's
wait till
busy.
the fall.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And it is true, because I think even my reading slowed down. So maybe,
obviously mine did.
maybe the
There's
booksellers know something that we don't know.
They've probably been studying
out.
people. Oh yeah, no, their marketing. They've been studying people, so they know.
Yes,
they know
I'm
our patterns better than we do.
And whenever it's cooler out, I'm more likely to sit with a book and read.
Yes.
That's just the truth.
That's just reality.
And in Texas, it doesn't get cooler until like October. We're still hoping, I mean, we're going to have 90-degree days it's in the next like 10-day forecast.
Yeah.
90-degree days. So.
Yep.
At some point, it has to stop being hot.
Today's only 87. But actually, all the foreseeable now the highest is 87. But we know what that means in Texas. It really will be 92.
Yes. And there was a day last week, because my boss's son does cross country, and it had rained. We were like, yeah, it's going to be nice and like cool. No, it got steamy.
It was steamy.
Like, the feels like was 102. I was like, those poor kids running cross country, because they were probably like, yay, rain, it'll cool down. Nope.
No, it didn't. I remember coming out of, like, I go into work, I get soaked, coming out at the end of the day, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what is this? What is
Yeah.
this? Where's my cold front with the rain?"
Texas, you did us dirty.
It really did. So,
But
well,
that's all that we have for today. I think we hopefully gave you some good ideas of
mm,
books to look forward to in the
yes.
next quarter and gave you some insights into what worked for us and what didn't work for us. Maybe you
Mhm.
found something that you want to read now or that you
Yes.
don't want to read.
Or that you don't wanna read, yeah. What I'm hearing is we are not doing a book club book episode about the Dan Brown because I'm not going to read it.
And there's no movie you can watch, so
No.
it's
So
not
so
like Sense
I
and Sensibility, where I can't even say Sense and Sensibility, where
yeah,
you could
we're
watch the movie and just
no.
call it a day. But
We'll just
yeah,
skip this one. It's okay. We got
maybe
plenty of
we'll
other
maybe
things.
we'll get caught up because I feel like we have gotten behind on our book club
We
books.
have. But I don't know because we got a busy October, but it's gonna be fun.
Yes, it's going to be fun, and we do have some fun things planned for October, and then November is our 1 year anniversary
Crazy.
and going to the Texas Book Festival. So we're going to have some fun stuff from that
We
too.
will.
So I am very excited about that. Remember, follow us on social media. If
Yes.
you have made it all the way to the end of this podcast and are not following and liking our podcast on your preferred podcast platform, please go ahead, like, review, and rate us. Just let us know how we're doing. Um, we always love those 5 stars, but
We do.
we'd just like to hear how you guys are enjoying this and
Mhm.
what your favorite parts of our podcast are.
Yes.
That'll help us make it even better for the coming episodes. So,
Exactly. So,
anyway, until next time,
all right.
we'll see you guys
Bye.
later. Bye.
So, thank you for listening to More Than a Book Club podcast. We are recorded and produced in McKinney, Texas.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.